Hello everybody, welcome back to Apple Gaming SE. This is Apple News and Opinions for February 28th through February 24th, 2024. New subscribers this week for the channel is plus 17, which brings us to 165, which means I have hit the goal of 160. So we're going to double up again, and the new goal is 320 subscribers. This week, the three that I have for sure that subscribed are GILMAR FRANCO, Saul Torres Marketing and Business, and Dávid Harakal. I don't have any kind of... I'm interested that a channel named Saul Torres Marketing and Business is subscribed, but I have no business relationship with this person. But I think it's just interesting that a business-themed channel is subscribed. But whoever you are, even if you're not one of these three, if you're among the other 14 that has subscribed over the past week, thank you so very much. I've hit I guess it's my fourth goal now, so my fifth goal is 320. So thank you everyone for staying subscribed. If there's any particular content, as always, that you would like to see or you want to interact with, please by all means reach out, and we'll just do what I can for you. So it's kind of a hobby channel, but if there's anything that I can accommodate, I certainly will. So on to the news. The first article this week is coming from MacStories.net, titled A Comprehensive Guide to Gaming on the Apple Vision Pro. If you're a gamer on Apple, you should definitely read through this article. There's some cool apps and services that we can use for game streaming or playing games directly on a Vision Pro. However, I think the bigger utility for most of us, certainly me as somebody who has an Intel Mac and who does not have a Vision Pro, is that you can get a cool app named Nexus Plus, which consolidates game streaming services into a single place to get around having multiple browser tabs open and pulls them into a much more elegant experience. One other nifty service is called Afterplay, which, on the free tier, lets you play old Game Boy, Nintendo DS, and Super Nintendo games. So if you like retro gamings, check out Afterplay. The next topic is pretty dense and actually covers stories from three different sources kind of on the same topic. Apple has unveiled what they call the PQ3 protocol, which is the post-quantum encryption for iMessage. So it is post-quantum encryption level 3. This comes from the Hacker News, is the first place that I saw it, but then similar stories were posted on macworld.com and 9to5Mac. So, actually, I think I need to start this out first by actually not talking about Apple, but talking about Google. And I need to revisit an opinion that I shared back in January regarding Google's RCS implementation and saying that it wasn't truly end-to-end encrypted. Well, the first source that I had when I did that story, it took me to a Google support page, and I read part of the page on that news post, and it was clearly not end-to-end encrypted. So I'm not sure what that was referring to. I don't know if it was an older Google Messages implementation, but the Hacker News actually links to a Google support page which does detail their implementation of end-to-end encryption using the Signal protocol, and they actually have a link in that support article to the actual technical white paper. And it's pretty convincing that the Google Messages app is indeed end-to-end encrypted, meaning that messages which pass through Google servers can't readily be read by they can't readily read your text, I should say. I don't know why this didn't come up when I was researching through Google's message encryption previously. Maybe this is a new article, or maybe I simply missed it. Regardless, I thought it was important that I correct the record. So as it is today, it does appear that Google's messages service is legitimately end-to-end encrypted, and it uses Signal's protocol. I don't know if it uses everything in the Signal protocol. I don't know enough about the Signal protocol to make that determination, but it's certainly better than the certificate handoff thing that I was reading about between basically those TLS, web encryption between the Google server and your phone, and then the message going back to the Google server and then to whoever you were having a conversation with, which is absolutely not end-to-end encrypted. So what happens here is that it's encrypted between your phone and whoever you're communicating with, or people you're communicating with, because you can do group chats with this end-to-end encryption in RCS. And in that case, the messages just route through the Google servers. They are not actually, none of the encryption is happening on the Google server, so Google doesn't have your encryption keys. So I just wanted to make sure that I stated that correctly. All of that said, I still don't trust the Firebase analytics that Google has running on Android. This is a totally different discussion than anything else, and it's a detour that goes on a long way. So for the sake of focusing on Apple, I wanted to correct that. I don't trust Firebase analytics still, but let's talk about the post-quantum level 3 encryption. So if you are not familiar with quantum computing, it can theoretically eliminate the usefulness of nearly all modern encryption technology. The Signal protocol uses what is called level 2 post-quantum encryption, which they call PQXHD, but iMessage is going to take that one step further with the unimaginative but consistent level 3. So the purpose of which is to ensure that your iMessage data isn't harvested by a third party with the hopes of decrypting the messages later. So basically, if somebody got a hold of your messages now, they could try to decrypt them later with quantum computing. This encryption technology will frustrate those efforts by requiring the attacker to hold the shared secret of all parties in a conversation. So I'm just going to quote how Apple put it. Quote, "The combination ensures that the initial session state cannot be derived without knowing both of the shared secrets, meaning an attacker would need to break both algorithms to recover the resulting secret, thus satisfying our hybrid security requirement." All of this is to say that Apple continues to put end users' privacy first, that our content and messages on our devices belong to us. Apple doesn't want that data. They don't want the liability of having your data, and they make serious strides to ensure that people we aren't explicitly sharing it with can't easily harvest data or information from things like text messages. Hats off to Apple. I hope this gets around to everybody. I honestly hope it goes to Signal. I hope it goes to Google with Android devices and Samsung and whoever else is out there. I would like something like this to be absolutely ubiquitous. That's not to say I want everybody to have access to iMessage, but that is to say I would like everybody to have their data encrypted. If it was a perfect world for me, I think Signal should be the standard. But if iMessage is better, then I don't know, maybe iMessage is the way to go. Anyway, that's that for that topic. I just wanted to cover it real quick, and we will move on to our third and final topic. The last topic is continuing this trend of late 2023, early 2024 of Apple continuing to win in smartphone sales. So two stories here, both from 9to5Mac. The first is that Apple overtook Samsung in smartphone sales in Europe for the first time in almost 2 years. The next story is that the US iPhone market share continues to rise despite declining smartphone sales. So to finish up today, in both the EU and the US, Apple's iPhone market share is continuing to gain ground on Samsung. In Europe, Samsung sales dropped by 12%. The whole European market declined by 3%, while Apple sales went up by 1%. This is, at present, merely a single data point. Up until now, Apple had trailed Samsung for 7 straight quarters. It seems that the premium phone segment did the best, with strong demand for the iPhone 15 Pro. Samsung's Galaxy S series devices, the sales were stale, so they were not growing, nor were they shrinking. While Google's Pixel lineup also showed a small upward trend in sales. Much of the same is happening across the Atlantic here in the USA. The smartphone market is down 10% year on year, but this was mostly driven by poor low-end smartphone sales. That said, the premium and what Counterpoint Research calls the ultra-premium tier upgrades remained tepid, with the exception being the iPhone. Apple has consistently, despite a very small dip in 2019, consistently grown in sales since 2017. Counterpoint also added the iPhone 11 and 12 series are helping to stabilize iPhone sales with cost-conscious buyers. I'm interested to keep watching this with the rumored and impending iPhone SE4, which, if rumors are to be believed, will have the same OLED panel as the iPhone 13. So maybe we will see, as I've said before, a $430 or $450 iPhone SE, which I think would do great for Apple on the we'll say sub-premium tier, maybe mid-range. That might be a good word for it. So that's it for news and opinions this week. Please share your thoughts and comments down below. If you have questions or concerns, leave those as well. And please like and subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next news and opinions video. Take care now. Bye-bye.